Hi lovelies, and welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. Alright lovelies, let's dive in today. So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I thought to share with you guys where to actually throw this question that got the entire pan-colored people going all emotional. Like, I was able to put up some of those stitches, guys. I'm just going to roll it. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
I am sitting here talking to my daughter about the events from last night. And this video is for white Americans that voted for Kamala. I hope I say this right. I don't know any other way to say it, but what made you guys see us as human? Or what made you not see us as animals? Like, what was it that happened in your life that didn't make you like them, that didn't make you us, or not want anything good for us? Like, what happened? What happened? What happened to... I mean, I think the part that hurts the most is that all women will be affected by this. All of us, no matter what race we are doomed. Like, what happened to y'all? What happened? See us as human.
You are breaking my heart. I'm about to get to work and I'm trying not to look like I did yesterday because I was pissed off all day. But I wanted to answer your question. My father and my mother grew up in Arkansas. And where my dad did pick up a lot of the racism because his mother was a racist, he had to unlearn it. And although he didn't unlearn all of it, my mother never had it in her, ever. She was the sweetest woman in the world. And sees everyone equally, and always has. So to answer your question, it's being the daughter of my mother, who taught me compassion for all and to love everyone. And if anyone tried to follow Christianity, it would have been my mother. She tried really hard to do what God, or what she was taught God would teach her to do. I am not into Christianity anymore, but I would say that my mother is the reason that I see you as a human.
I both grew up in small-town white Christian conservative communities. The first presidential election I voted for George W. Bush. I was very outspokenly conservative, and I grew up in a town that was like 97% white. But my wife and I got married young, when I was 19, and then when we went to grad school, we moved to St. Louis. We went to different universities. Where I went was in an affluent white area, and where she went was in North St. Louis County. And we were broke, so we got an apartment in North County, and we were the only white people in our apartment complex. So at the same time that we were living in this place called Normandy, Missouri, my wife was getting her master's in social work. A person would learn about racial profiling in class, and then we would see how black individuals would be pulled over and handcuffed and put on the sidewalk and have their car searched just as routine traffic stop. Kirsten would learn about discrepancies in banking institutions and how they gave out loans and redlining. We would see how everyone living in the affordable apartments where we lived were black, but all of the homeowners in the neighborhood and surrounding were white. And after grad school, we joined the Peace Corps and we moved to Rwanda. While we were in Rwanda, the public schools in Normandy, where we used to live, lost their accreditation. We were serving in Rwanda as educators, as representatives of the United States. And our students in Rwanda had better access to education than the students in Normandy, Missouri. We were also serving in Rwanda when Michael Brown was killed. And Ferguson is very close to where we lived in Normandy. Our students in Rwanda saw what was happening in Ferguson and asked us about it. Asked us about what relationships were like in the United States between black and white people. They had so many questions for us about if America is actually the land of the free, if America is actually a place where equality exists, if America is actually a place of equal opportunity. And the answers were no. The Department of Justice in Ferguson found what we already knew to be true from living there, that unethical policing was built into the governing system. After the Peace Corps, we moved back to St. Louis, to North City. Kirsten worked with ex-convicts to help them to get ready to re-enter the workforce, while I worked as a case manager in homelessness prevention due to gentrification. So every day I saw people lose their housing because of land speculation, because of the housing markets. And almost every day I was dealing with white landlords who were renting to black renters. In 2017, the police officer Jason Stockley was acquitted. We marched with Corey Bush and Bruce Franks and Rasheen Aldridge. We marched in those protests pushing our son in a stroller. He was 1 year old. So the answer to what it is that changed our views of black people and the black community, it was a lot of time spent together. It was learning that we are the problem and not running away. We grew up in places that as white people, we were completely separate from other cultures. And even cities like this one, you can cross one street and go from a white community to a black community. And there are a lot of people that will spend most of their lives never crossing that street in their own city. We had friends in grad school that when we came home from the Peace Corps and we moved to North City, they wouldn't visit us because they wouldn't come to our neighborhood. But we've lived in this neighborhood for almost 10 years. It's just families, it's just people. I think that how segregated our nation is why we don't always see each other. Because when you just live together, it's not like, oh, I see black people as human. It's James, it's Paulette, it's Quincy, it's my neighbors. It's very clear how the systems in place make it easier for me to live somewhere else. It makes it easier for us to send our kids to different schools. The structure of our society makes it very difficult for us to connect. And after an election like the one we just had, I think it's very important that we as white people understand that we are the problem and we cannot run away. I see so many people saying, oh, I want to move to Canada. I want to move to Uruguay. Or people from Missouri saying, I'm tired of living in a red state. I'm ashamed to live in a red state. I want to move to Portland. I've slowly seen every single non-black student in my son's class pull their kids out of the school. And so what I would say to other people who look like me right now is that this election showed us that we are the problem. It's easy to want to distance ourselves from that, to run away from that. Don't run. Sit in that knowledge and move forward with intention.
I am an autistic adult. This may have been a rhetorical question. If so, I'm sorry. I took you literally. Obviously, I can only speak for myself, but there was never a thing, an incident, a life event that caused me to see people who were different than me as human. I never believed otherwise, and I don't know what causes it. I was raised by fundamental evangelical Christians who were Republican, to the point where we had the 8x10 of Jesus praying, and then right next to it we had an 8x10 autographed picture of whatever Republican president was sitting when I was growing up. We weren't allowed to swear in my family. We weren't even allowed to say crap, heck, darn, because those were placeholders. And yet a certain word with a hard R was said by adults in my family. They say you have to teach racism, but it didn't stick with me, and I don't know why. I never had to be convinced that human beings are of equal worth and value. And I am so sorry. that you feel like that regularly. And you are worthy of love. You are worthy of respect. You are worthy of living in a country where you feel safe and protected. I know that's not what you have now, but you deserve it.
What?
Damn it, I said I wasn't going to cry. My grandmother and my dad taught me better. I don't know what else to say. I was just taught better from the time I was little.
That's the same people that voted for Donald Trump. They are convinced that there is no reason for anybody different than them to have a negative life circumstance that's not caused by their own personal life choices. They absolutely do not believe that society can make one group of people's lives more difficult than another's. And the few that do understand it, who've intertwined their lives with the lives of somebody from a different community, but still vote for Trump, they just plain love their privilege. It's not more complicated than that.
So for me, it was the fact that I've been discriminated against my entire life, starting from childhood. I got picked on in school because I was the dirty kid. I got picked on at home by 5 other kids. My dad had absolutely no respect for women, and he raised me. He was a drug addict himself. He would refer to me as a miserable, yeast-infected little cunt. I got pregnant when I was 13 and put into the foster care system by a 23-year-old man who used to beat the shit out of me, and my dad did nothing. While I was in the foster care system, I came out. I was rehomed like a dog because they thought I would SA their children. I was not believed when one of the foster homes I was in SA'd my daughter, and I was not believed. I became a drug addict at 27 years old. I was judged for that. I was judged for being gay, judged for being a child of the system, judged for having my daughter at 14, judged for being with a black man, and I'm gay, and this was a different time in my life. Okay? We were not together, but anyways. While I could never understand your pain, I understand to a degree, and all I can do is offer my hand and say, I'm with you. And apologize, because I am so fucking sorry that this happened, and I don't understand how this happened. If you ask me, this election was stolen just like it was in 2016. I am so fucking sorry that America does not give a fuck about women or minorities.
I see you as human because you're human, but if you want my personal experience, I have had a crazy life, and we're not going to really get into that, but the times where I really needed someone, my own family wasn't there. The times where I was in such a bad place, my own family wasn't there. The times where I wanted to die, my family wasn't there. But a black woman, a Hispanic woman, and another black woman saved my life, kept me on this planet. And that doesn't even begin to make sense in my head. I'm sorry, I'm tired, it's been a long day, but I see you as human because you're fucking human, because you are wonderful, because you are amazing, because you are the fucking very epitome of goodness and kindness and generosity. I love you, and I'm sorry to everyone. This probably is coming out wrong, and it's been a long day, and I'm tired, but I love you because you're you, and you're human because you're human, and I love you because you're you.
I'm sorry. I'm hurting. I'm hurting. You're hurting. Every woman out there is hurting. I'm so disappointed in America. I'm so disappointed in America. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what else to say. There just aren't any words. There just aren't any words for this, for where we're at and where we're headed. And I'm really scared. I'm really scared. I'm really scared for JD Vance. I'm really scared because, like, JD Vance believes in this shit, you know, like he does. And Trump doesn't. Trump doesn't care. But JD Vance really believes in this shit, and JD Vance is going to end up being president. Mark my fucking words. JD Vance is going to end up being president. Because you guys didn't pay attention to the last couple of weeks when he was really going off the fucking banners. You get liberal tears because I'm crying for my country. I don't give a fuck what any of you think of us who voted for Kamala. We're the reasonable Americans. You guys are just nasty and cruel.
I voted for Kamala because I have a daughter. I have a wife. I have LGBTQIA friends and family. And I know what I look like, and I know if there was more of me that looked like that, those people that I just talked about wouldn't have to be afraid the next 4 years. I served with every shade under the rainbow of person, and again, I know if there was more people that looked like me that cared about those kinds of things, lots of people wouldn't have to be scared for the next 4 years. So, yeah.
I can't believe you're asking this question. I'm so sorry. I tried. And I definitely see you as human, and I want to be friends with you, and I'm so sorry, and we'll be okay. You'll be okay. But it's not easy. And I'm so sorry that you have to ask that question. I don't have the answer. I was just raised right. I was raised to think that people are kind, and that anybody is kind, and everyone is human, and everyone deserves a chance at life.
My kindergarten best friend. My elementary school best friend. My junior high school buddy. The father of my son. I've always seen you as equal. And as much as I spent the last couple of years, several years, hoping that we could come out for you the way you come out for us, I'm sorry.
But we're not quitting. We're not quitting. We're still in this together.
Hey, I am so sorry. I've cried today too, and as you can tell, I have much less to cry about than you do. To be honest, I don't think anyone does not see you as human, no matter where they are on the political spectrum. I really think the problem, being someone who kind of woke up to reality back in 2020, the problem is that so much of us see things through the lens of our own self-interests, and we have a very hard time, and I guess you can consider myself lucky to have been rocked in reality and forced to see things through other people's eyes. And that is what this country needs, is to stop being so self-centered, so focused on our own self-interest, since most of these people that made last night happen have so much privilege, and they cannot, for the life of them, put themselves in someone else's shoes and really see what it's like to be of a different group in this country. I'm so sorry. I do feel optimistic that we're going to get there one day, and I thought this was the year. And I can acknowledge that a lot of damage is probably going to happen in the next 4 years, but I do believe that as early as the next election in 2 years, when we can flip some House seats, we'll start to see that we've learned a lesson and we're going to get some forward momentum. And I'm going to do everything I can on this platform to directly reach out to those other people who have not changed their perspective on the world to see things the way others see them. So, we're all in this together. It hurts right now. We'll get through it. We'll get through it.
I advise that you watch her full TikTok for the full context, but basically she is asking white women, what made you vote for Kamala Harris instead of being on the wrong side of history and voting for Donald Trump? What is that moment in your life that made this happen? I grew up a sheltered white girl in the Midwest Red in Kansas and Wisconsin. I had a stay-at-home mom and a father who would eventually enter into law enforcement. I grew up lower middle class to middle class, but lived in white towns. Maybe had one black person in my class. In second grade, my teacher had us all gather on the reading carpet, and she had us pull up our sleeves with 2 other people and said, who has the lightest skin tone? Me. It's pale as fuck. She said to go get a drink from the water fountain. We called it Bubbler in Wisconsin. So we did. Cool. I sat back down. She said, do it again. If you want another drink, go ahead. Okay, but I did it. Came back to sit, and she explained why that was wrong. Why, just because our skin tone was lighter, we were entitled to go to the Bubbler. That was not right. And then she said, go ahead and do it again. Half the class got up. Half the students who were up went up to go do it. And I kept my ass on the carpet. And then when they came back, she asked, why was this wrong? And I said, raised my hand and I said, because they said they were sorry, but they did it again anyway. That was the beginning of me learning that words are meaningless unless my actions defend it. She made the concept of racism that easy. And I remembered that. And growing up in middle school, my best friend was Hispanic. People were using slurs around me. I said, please do not do that. At 11, gay panic set in from the Disney Channel original movie Motocrossed. I thought it was a boy. It was a girl who just cut off all her hair. But I was told being gay was disgusting and I would go to hell. 11. I would not officially admit I was bisexual until I was 19. I still have so much to learn. When I moved to Colorado, then was surrounded by a much more diverse group of people. But when I'm told something is wrong or disrespectful, I shut the fuck up and listen. Everybody in Colorado, I'm a Colorado native. Then somebody pointed out, that's kind of offensive. And I was like, oh, I did not know. I don't say it anymore. For this election, I did my part. I voted. I advocate for myself, for sexual assault survivors, for LGBTQ+, for people of color. And I am fucking pissed. And I am going to be affected by what happened election night for years to come. But here's the thing. I am fucking white. The people who are going to suffer the most, black women. I will not apologize. I did my part, and I'm going to continue to do my part and fight. But I need you to know that I see you. Your feelings are valid. I want to listen to you. I want to understand you so that I can fight for you. I can fight. I have a lot of hate fire that is ready to be spread. And when I say I'm not sorry, I mean not sorry because I did vote. I did vote on the right side of history. But I am sorry for what you are going through and for what you will be going through. Sometimes I think it's pretty obvious I look gay. But I also live in Colorado, so a lot of people are just kind of dressed like they're hitting the trail just for their normal daily lives. I will never be able to fathom what it is like to be discriminated against because of the color of my skin. And I know that I sometimes just need to shut the fuck up, stop, and listen. I am ready to do that.
Like, seriously, lovelies, to tell you the truth, these teachings that the sister's video actually got me all emotional. Like, seriously, this is, you know, the very first time that I saw a video on stage, and coming from a sister that have actually gone through a lot. Like, she actually represents what being someone that looks like me actually feels like in a society whereby someone that looks like me is actually treated differently, as if you are not even a human. Like, I was going through my For You page, you know, as usual, trying to put up something for us to see what is going on, and this particular video actually got my attention. So this sister, you know, is all out asking, you know, those pan-colored people that decided that they were going to vote, even if some people actually voted for a third party, we will not actually, you know, not know the fact that some pan-colored people also voted for KM. And she was all out. I think I was like asking myself that's you know, that kind of question. I was like, okay, if 60-something% or 70-something% of pan-colored people actually voted for TP, which is not even surprising. It's not surprising at all, because you know the way at which the system is and how the system is being built. Okay, then the remaining percentage, who did they actually vote for? Okay, let's just assume that maybe 10% voted for third party. Then the remaining 20% voted for KM. And I was like, wow, if 20% can actually realize what is going on in the society, you know, if actually this 20% can, you know, like they know exactly what is going on, that means things might change. That means all of the things we'll be doing, calling out and all of that, you know, trying to get people to understand what is happening, I think is really working. Because it might be very, very, you know, disturbing if a lot of maybe pan-colored, let's just assume 92% voted for, you know, TP and all of that. This is when it's actually going to be concerning. The thing is that it's as if pan-colored people even voted, like, you can't compare their vote compared to that of, you know, Hispanic people. I think Hispanic people voted more compared to pan-colored people, even if some of them maybe would definitely vote for a third party, and why some of them will actually vote for, you know, KM. And this is decided to ask this question that has actually been on my mind for a long time. Like, okay, why did they even voted? Like, it's so surprising. Not that I've seen so many of the, you know, pan-colored creators and all of that, you know, standing up for black people, even if, you know, they are not really doing it, but they are still using their voices and all of that, even if they are not getting audience. Because what I notice is that if I see some pan-colored people who, you know, often sometimes, you know, create stitches that support people that looks like me, their audience, they don't even get their own audience. They don't get, you know, pine-colored audience. All of the audience that they have are just people that looks like me. This is what I noticed on some of the creators that, you know, advocate for black people and all of that. I noticed that when a pan-colored person start talking about, you know, black people and how to do the right thing and all of that, all of his pan-colored audience, you know, automatically disappears, and you see that the platform is filled with people that looks like me. And now this one throws the question, which I really want to also know, you know, but the fact that she came all emotional, all like, I felt so like, oh my god, I felt so broken, because, you know, people that looks like me has really gone through a lot. They have really gone through a lot, like even individual aspect of it, group aspect of it. They have gone through a lot trying to make everything possible to be accepted, to actually, you know, have a community or a system that works and favor them without being discriminatory, without trying to ask you, oh, where are you, what is the what, like, due to because of all this thing we do here, the stitches and all of that, I have seen a lot. So if she is all emotional, crying out and all of that, it is very justifiable, because if you see the way at which some of these pan-colored people treat people that look like me, what am I even saying? You guys already know. But I'm not even talking in the aspect of these stitches I put here. Like, the way at which they come for people that looks like me, as if there is, like, all of a sudden you will see this person so aggressive. Let's just use, for instance, what really happened, you know, before this election and all of that, about Sonia Mercy. Okay, this man decided, and okay, Sonia Mercy, if you guys, I don't know if you still remember about Sonia Mercy and her case and all of that, you know, she is someone, I think she has a little challenge in her mental and all of that. And she noticed that somebody intruded in her house or something, and she has to call 911, which these two people have to come. Like, they came to save someone, and it turned out that this person actually is someone that looks like me and all of that, you know. And all of a sudden, you are supposed to come protect someone, then you are now the person's doom. This is the reason why when this sister was asking this question, I automatically thought of Sonia Mercy. I automatically thought that incident couldn't have happened if it's not because of the HATA that some of these people have inside of them. So if she's all crying and asking questions, it is very justifiable, because what level of HATC that will make you to go over someone that probably called you for help, but all because you have had this thing in you that when you see people that look exactly like this, you get so irritated and want them out from your face. This is the reason why he was able to do whatever he did to Sonia. This is the reason why, because of that thing that he have had inside of him. Let's just assume that the table turned and it was actually a pan-colored person. Would he, would he do exactly what he did? And when they asked, he was all talking about how she's with a pot of water, and how can you justify a pot of water with a pew? A pot of water, even if she's coming to pour you a pot of water or something, you are not going to be injured. Like you even if you get injured, you don't even require to go to the hospital. All you need was a first aid. But all because you have had that in you, you have seen people like this as, you guys are not equal, you guys are people like this. That is why when you see people that look in some certain way, there is nothing like compassion. You don't have any form of compassion at all. You don't even want them to like, you see them as some kind of creation that does not look like you. This is why he was able to do
what he did. So when this sister asked this question, I was so like, I reflected about Sonia Mercy and the fact that they came out to actually, you know, say their minds, spill their, you know, whatsoever. It's giving that some of them that actually know that this thing that these people are doing, my own people are doing, is wrong. Is wrong. How will I change it? Even if they want to change, I know that maybe some of their family members are not in support. Some of them even end up not being in contact with their family members, all because of the way at which the family members, you know, are. And there is something I noticed about some of those people that I stitched their video. It's either they're in an interracial relationship, or they have an encounter with people that looks like me, to make them realize that, oh, these people that my family, my mother, grandfather, or whatsoever I always talk ill about are actually nice people. Black people do not have a problem. They are they are so compassionate. Like, they know what it means to feel hurt inside. So that is why when they have this opportunity to get in contact with people that looks like me, it's very different from what they have been told about people that looks like me. Even if there are still some of them, that knew that, oh, these people are actually nice, but there is this kind of people that no matter what you do, you can never erase the level of ray and cis that is in them. Like, seriously. I noticed with all of these people that are stitching the video, they've had one or two encounter with people that looks like me. It's either they're in the interracial relationship, or it's either they have been helped by people that look. So it actually takes someone that help you to know, for you to know that this person is actually a human being or a nice person, and which was not even supposed to be. But the way at which the system has made it be, oh my goodness, I seriously love this. When I saw this video, I was all you know, and I noticed they all know exactly what is happening. They know the way at which the system works, but it's just that there is nothing they can do because of the society, and some of them, because of the privilege that they have, they just enjoy it that way. That's why a lot of them, you know, make commentaries of selfishness. If it benefits me, I don't really care about someone else, which is so inhuman. Anyway, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. If you don't subscribe to this channel up to this extent, please do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like this video, you know, and for those people that share my videos, that leave commentaries, for those people that super chat me, to those people that actually join my membership, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. And for my returning subscribers, to my returning viewers, thank you so much. And I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one. Comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational purposes. So please share this video, subscribe if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.